Hi, welcome to the Working Moms Lab. I'm Bonnie, a working mom with two young children in New York City. This is a podcast about working moms, their lives, dreams, multifaceted life, and possibilities. Whether they have corporate jobs, they're business owners or entrepreneurs, or they sit at home working for their families for the moment. If a woman becomes a mom, she is a working mom. I have created first 7 episodes and they are all in Mandarin, in which I talked with moms in mainland China and the friends I know over the years and they are living in the US. But the next 7 episodes, I hope to create more content in English and connect with moms all over the world. Hope you enjoy them. In this one, I interviewed one of my most inspiring friends from graduate school, Jayeeta, who is a brilliant data scientist, AI LLM leader, and also a new mom of a 1-year-old daughter. We talked about her career passion, how she pursues her passion in a field that is changing daily, and manage to balance family life. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, how are you?
Hi, buddy. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm
Long
so
time no see.
excited. I know, I'm so excited for our conversation today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's so good to connect with you after so long, after like our college days, and doing all the assignments together. And finally,
Yeah,
you're here.
I know. Yeah, Jayeeta and I, we knew each other in 2016,
16.
17,
Mm-hmm.
16, 17, so almost 10 years ago.
Yeah,
We
it's
were
almost 10 years.
doing our master's in quantitative methods and modeling.
That's right. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it was such a fun time.
Yeah, so, okay, just want to introduce Jayeeta to the audience very quickly. Jayeeta is a Associate Director of Data Science at Fitch Ratings, a global leader in financial information services focusing on NLP and Gen AI. She is also passionate about advocating for and empowering women in tech, which is so inspiring. And her work and her volunteer work has involved in initiatives to support and mentor women in STEM by leading workshops with organizations like Women Who Code and Google Women Tech Makers. I also want to highlight that Jayeeta is an active speaker at renowned conferences, and she was recently got the award of the most influential leader in generative AI 2024. And that's a long list of rewards I didn't even get into. And not to mention that Jayeeta is also a new mom with a baby at home. Yeah, so Jayeeta, why don't you introduce yourself in your own words and unpack all this for the audience today?
Yeah, I mean, you did a great job, and thank you for all the kind words. It's just that I'm very passionate about the field, which is NLP and natural language processing. And then with all the new innovations in the LLM space, now it's got much more traction. So you see, that's why so many new initiatives, new work, or new kind of solutions that's coming up. So I feel that I was in the right spot at the right time, like trying to utilize some of the experiences doing the hard work of text processing when there was no Gen AI and no LLMs. So yeah, I've been in the NLP space for almost 8 years now, or 9 years now. I think I started just after we graduated from Baruch. My first internship, I think in my last semester, I had a course in NLP that kind of gave me that boost of interest in the field. And that's where I got my first internship. And then that kind of converted. And then, yeah, here I am. But like you said, the biggest reward of all the things that you counted is being a mom now. It's just been a big promotion. So, yeah, I'm happy to so inspired by you. You're doing a great job, like juggling
Thank
so many
you.
things. So yeah, I think we have to just find our tribe and keep working towards that goal that we have.
Right. Why I started this podcast is just to learn the similarities and the differences in our collective experiences.
Absolutely.
How to be a working mom, but also a person who have ambition or
Mm-hmm.
have dreams, right? And can you just walk us briefly through your journey from your early career to become a leader in AI?
Absolutely, yes. So, yeah, so I did my undergrad in economics, but I also had like a minor specialization in statistics. So I've always loved statistics, but I didn't use it much. So I did my MBA and then I went into consulting. I was doing working for Deloitte for a couple of years back in India. And then I realized that I want to do something more technical. I feel I was not utilizing, or I was like not very, like you said, like we all have ambitions, and I tried that route and I felt that this is not a good fit for me, and I wanted to do something more technical. So that's when I moved to US, did my master's in quantitative methods and modeling, again where I feel the bachelor's in, or the undergrad statistical inference course that I took was really handy, because I felt, oh, this is easy. It
Mm,
was not that easy. But yeah, so overall that's how I kind of got into more of the statistical data analysis part. And I think back in 2016, data science was like a new term.
right,
Everybody
the
wanted
hard
to,
word.
yeah, it was the hot word. Everybody wanted to do data science, and there was not really very specific guidance on what you can do. You were exploring different methodologies, and like I said, that's how I came across NLP and text analysis and text mining, and then went into that field. And I've been working in that field in different domains. I started from marketing, then I went into ad tech, then now
Mm,
I'm in financial services. So different domains, but the underlying technology remains the same, right? So yeah, that's how. And I'm really interested in the field, so I feel that interest and passion kind of shows, and I try to do different things here and there. So yeah,
mm. Yeah,
kind of.
at what point you decided you want to be an expert in NLP and Gen AI, and those all sounds very like deep technical stuff.
Yeah. So I remember in my first internship, I started building this topic classification. It's a very simple process if you think about it now, but there were these thousands of articles coming in, and we were just trying to tag it to if it's like a media like sports article, or like article about like politics or whatever. So it was so interesting for me to see that there's like a algorithm that would help you tag some of these, that would ideally take a person like, I don't know, 30 minutes to read through that document, identify what tags they could
Mm,
potentially tag it to. So basically you can automate that knowledge creation or knowledge graph kind of a process, and then process so much of text so easily. So it felt
mm,
like magic, and I was like, hey, I need to dip, like dive a little deeper to kind of understand how this is happening. And that's where I feel I started exploring NLP and some of its ways of building models with concepts like word to vec, embedding models, doc to
mhm,
vec, and then try to do some side projects that, like, got me a little bit exposure to different kinds of patterns. Yeah, and I think if there's like an interest, you will find a way to
mm.
kind of test out different models, even if you're not working directly on that at work. So yeah, it's
Yeah, you reminded me of all these packages.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like the word
You
to
remember
text and
Spacey? Yeah, Spacey, NLTK, these were like, the hot packages during that
yeah,
time. Yeah, and it felt like, wow, it can extract text. It can, tell me what is a part of speech tag for a particular token. It was like, it felt like
yeah,
magic. But once you start reading about it, you understand what the underground, like, what the background is, how is it framed, how is it like, processing. So it was very interesting to me. So yeah,
yeah. As a fellow data scientist, now all these tools like the ChatGPT and Claude, they are
yeah.
just we can reach them right
Yeah.
on a daily basis. And
Mhm.
what advice you have for the current aspiring data scientist or
Mhm.
still in college in this field? How deep should I go to that
Mhm.
foundational knowledge and science?
I feel about this very strongly. So I'll say it in a very quick way, that doesn't matter what kind of tooling comes into practice. Today, ChatGPT is hot. Tomorrow, there will be something multimodal, something much bigger, and we will be like, okay, now we don't need to do or know anything, we'll just call an API and try to process our data through ChatGPT or Claude. But that does not make you a data science professional. Anybody can do that. So how are you creating a space for yourself, or how are you creating that that concept that you are an SME or like a subject matter expert in this field? So you have to know the foundations. I have seen like folks like passing out from college, trying different kinds of various kinds of APIs and feeling that they have built a data science project. But once you come into the industry, you would know that when you try to solve a problem or a business use case, just calling an API from different open source tools or even closed source tools is not enough. You have to know the basics to build a custom solution. And that customization, fine tuning of any process needs you to have like a very clear foundational knowledge, so that you know where you can tweak, how much you can tweak without skewing up the model, skewing up the data pipeline. So very, very important. Like I cannot.
Right. So you have to build the foundations
Absolutely.
to be able to develop that instinct, to be able to fine tuning or create custom models out of those great tools, right?
Exactly. So you have to be in that level where you can leverage the new tools or new upcoming methodologies in a way that serves a business purpose. If you are just calling an API, anybody can do that. So your input wouldn't be valuable and you wouldn't be valued. So how do you create value? How do you create that persona for yourself, basically?
And like seeing so many buzzwords, or every few months new iteration comes out, it feels overwhelming. And all the like industry talks about how AI apply to your work, how it's going to replace your like certain part of your job. Like how do you process all these overwhelmed information, and what's your advice to the young professionals out there, or even seasoned professionals?
Yeah, I think it's a recurring challenge. I don't think there's a right or correct answer. The only answer is that you have to, especially that's what I do, like in order to follow with all the things that's coming up, or at least get my hands on, like do some testing so that I know if it can solve some of the business problems that I'm working on. Is that you time block and learn about it. There's no easy, there's no shortcut. I'm sure you have read there's a lot of Substack accounts where people write about different stuff and publish TLDR version.
I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming. So but one good thing is that you have like some kind of summarization. So if you don't have the time or bandwidth to read a complete paper or a technical paper, I think those kind of blogs helps you to kind of simplify that down and then take a decision that is this something that you would want to invest your time in or dig deeper. If not, then just know about it in a high level. So I have created like a batch. Some concepts I want to dig deeper, some concepts I'm okay knowing high level, like computer vision. I don't necessarily work very closely on computer vision projects, but I know what goes on in that industry. If needed, I can jump into that, but I wouldn't call myself as a subject matter expert. But anything that comes under the LLM radar, evaluation, model building, any kind of fine tuning techniques like LoRa, quantization, these are something that I have to make sure that I am on top of it, because that's directly related to my work.
Yeah. You have a core and then you have adjacent.
Exactly. Yeah. You cannot have like multiple. You can have multiple cores if you are like, superhuman, but it's fine. I'm happy with one specialization core.
Yeah, that's actually very important, because we have limited time, right? And we have our life outside work. On top of that, you have a baby now. So yeah, I think like we really need to consider intentionally how much time we spend on these like work related knowledge, and then not get overwhelmed by them.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the more you start like time blocking, I felt that I'm more productive now, because I exactly know what to read, how much deep to go, and then and then just save it somewhere in my, I have thousands of bookmarks saved that I will read it someday. It's still like that, but it's fine. I'll get to it someday.
And what's your outlook about our future, or our kids' future, with Gen AI technologies? I know this is a very big question, but any immediate thought?
No, I mean, like when I was growing up back in India, and I've seen all my cousins and like siblings studying engineering, computer science, because that was the next wave of digitalization, different kinds of new job openings opening up. So everybody was like, said that, hey, know your computer science, know how to code, because that's going to be the future. And that is true. And we have seen so much wave of development and innovation in the computer science field. I feel now with generative AI, you don't need to actually know how to code, but you have to be theoretically very clear on what you want to develop. I've seen some people like very recently posted in LinkedIn that they have created websites and they are like product managers, like they do not know how to code at all. So utilizing some of these no code or low code platforms, you just give them prompt, give them what you want your UX or like landing page to look like, and they create websites so easily. Like I feel that in the future, depending on your industry or like which industry you go towards, even if it's music, there's so much challenge, right? Because GPT-4 can also create music. So how do you kind of deal with some of these and kind of find your own niche where the tech is not killing your
creativity.
Creating your creativity or talent, but you are using the tech to kind of elevate your creativity. I'm not sure if you've seen, there's like an artist who creates AI art, and it's like imagination, different kinds of alternate parallel universe art.
I'm not. You have to send to me.
Yeah, I sent it across, and it imagines New York City if it was like a pink bubble gum or something like that. Very unique, very different, but it's different, right? And people loved it. So that's what I mean by using the technology to kind of elevate your performance or elevate your talent, versus like feeling that, hey, it's taking my job, because it's gonna be here for like a long time. And so
I was reading an article by Lenny, like Lenny's podcast host, and Lenny wrote a piece about what part of the product manager's job will be replaced down the road by AI. But this article aroused a lot of like fear and anxiousness. But then he wrote another article about if we look at product manager roles in silo, then we can say, okay, AI can replace certain parts of the role. But if we look at all kinds of roles, especially technical heavy roles, actually hard skills will be replaced even more faster or earlier than the soft skills. Yeah. Absolutely. So like how you deal with people, communication, problem solving, that's very, very important.
Prioritization. Roadmap designing, prioritization, all these are like super high soft skills versus hard skills, right? Like coding. Claude can code. Have you seen like somebody tried to run like a lead code exam by Claude, I think, and I think it passed with 89%. So
I'm not surprised.
So we are almost there.
Right. So is like how much soft skills versus hard skills you use in your daily work?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good thing that I feel that I learned from my consulting time working with Deloitte, because it was a lot of presentations, talking to clients. So doing that storytelling, or like building what you're actually creating with the data in a much simpler way, where like your clients or leadership team who may not be technical enough can like understand the purpose, understand the vision, is what data storytelling is all about, right? And I feel that is a skill I have seen a lot of technical, very, very technical, good data scientists miss, because they focus mostly on development, like making the model as best as possible. But when it comes to kind of selling that model, selling in the terms like selling its key points and like pros to the business, and influence the decision makers to adopt that model, I feel that sometimes I've seen people kind of fall behind, and then their efforts are not recognized that well. So that's why I feel communication is super key, or almost like a 60-40 split, I would say. Like 40% would become communication in terms of convincing them of why this model is good, why is purpose fits the business KPIs, why we should go to this model versus that model as easily as possible. And that storytelling is very, very important.
I feel like that's your superpower, right? You have a very strong foundational and like no like technical skills, but then you have such a deep business sense and the presentation and communication
Yeah,
skills.
yeah, I mean, business sense comes from like your domain expertise, right? Like the more you work in a particular domain, like I've been working in finance for almost 2 years now. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I know the basics of it. But and I know how to kind of connect some of the technical details to like make it look simple, but maybe I lack some more domain knowledge. So then I seek help from my managers or like seniors and say that, hey, can you help me kind of merge these two concepts together? And it's always good to ask for help. I'm sure you never know everything by yourself, so ask for help when you need it, and that's how you
Yeah,
learn.
cool. Yeah, I want to move on to the work that you are very passionate about is empowering women in tech. And with the context of now you're in America, like what have you been doing? You have been like mentoring, doing so many things, right?
Yeah. No, I think I started taking mentoring very seriously because early in my career, and I told you this, like when I got into my internship and I was looking for full-time opportunities, I've had some fantastic mentors that kind of helped me get some perspective on what might the future be. Nobody can say what the future could be, but there's like some guidelines, right? If you're an industry expert in the field for quite a long time, you basically have a sense of how the industry is developing. So I've got some really great feedback that kind of helped shape on how I think about certain areas, and that's why I went all in NLP. At one point, I was also thinking about maybe I want to do PhD, but then I spoke to a lot of mentors, and then like did this analysis that maybe I'm more interested in implementation. So I would want to be on the industry side and do more implementation versus doing like deep research, which is also great, but maybe not. I'm not the right fit for that. So these kind of guidance that I have got from some of my mentors kind of always made me think that how can I, maybe do the same for somebody else. So yeah, like some organizations that I started working with was Women Who Code, was the initial. We started doing like technical webinars, mentoring, free. It's all free, like because the students and early career professionals who are coming in, like I'm sure they have enough on their plate, and they was like, oh, there shouldn't be any barrier to entry to get industry help, right? That's the entire goal. So
wow, so you mentor young professionals and women for free, use your own time.
Yes, that's like
Wow.
at least for the near future, that would be the goal. And like we all know that the industry right now is like in a little bit of turmoil, right? Like the job market is unstable. We see so many layoffs happening. So it's always like, even if I can't get somebody a job because like of course there's like limited amount of openings, at least can we do like resume review? And I would encourage everybody like listening to, even if you can help one person, like maybe do a quick resume review, or like say, hey, this doesn't look right, can you like make it more quantitative, how you write your resume, add some more bullet points, etc. That kind of helps, and I've seen some very positive outcomes from some of these activities. So that's what keeps me going. So it's fine.
Wow, you're just like paying forward now. That's
You have
amazing.
to do something, right? Like I got
Right.
some help during my time, so I hope I can do at least some for some people.
That's amazing. Yeah, I hope we can all learn from you in that regard.
And I'm sure a lot of you guys are already doing it. So yeah, it's just time consuming, but it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, and with your work, full-time job, with your volunteering, mentoring, and then all these speaking engagement and participating in industry events or conferences, how are you managing all that?
Yeah, that's a question. It gets tough. It gets tough. I will not lie. But I think one good thing that I have is that a very supportive partner. Before that, I used to always be like, no, I will do it my way. So I was like, very, no, you have to do it this way. Now I'm like, okay, just get it done. so,
And let it go.
I let it go. So I have learned to let it go and like not think about things that's not a priority at the moment, and then like just like maybe tell somebody else to take care of it. And I have some few folks that is there to help. So I think that helps. But otherwise, I think I have a calendar so full. Sometimes I'm like, I need to cancel everything for the day and just go to sleep. So
Yeah, and now you have a baby. How old is your baby now?
yeah, she just turned like she's 10 and a half months now.
Wow.
She's still tiny, and I think
Crawling?
yeah, she's crawling. She's trying to walk, and she's trying to like stand up like everywhere. And I'm like
Wow.
just running after her. Yeah, don't fall, don't fall. But
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. Yeah, yeah. I'm learning so
What's
much from
your
her.
what's your experience? What's your learning there as being a new mom?
Yeah, I feel that so even before, like when I was preparing to be a mom, or I was just like, in my pregnancy phase, I read so many books and blogs. I was like, oh, I have to do it this way, the right way. I have to do like, BLW. I'm sure you've heard, like, how do you
Baby
start?
led weaning.
Yeah, baby led weaning. How do you give them solid? And at one point, I was like, just eat, even if it's like a puree, like just eat. Like I can't like wait 3 hours for her to finish her meal. So you choose your battles. I feel like you choose what's priority. For me, the priority right now is that she gets all the nutrients. She's like healthy. She's like growing. And then I'm giving her like positive stimulations, that reading and like spending more time on like creative stuff. So we do hand painting and stuff, like just so that she's a little bit more stimulated in all her sensory, and versus like spending 5 hours on like a BLW meal and like
Yeah.
cleaning up all the mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just choosing my battles one day at a time, and then just doing what I can.
That's really wise because as a new mom, you want to do all and you
Yeah,
want to provide the
exactly.
best.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, looking 2 years, 3 years ahead, who knew if this baby is formula fed or breast milk fed, right?
Exactly.
As long as they are fed.
Exactly. As long as they're fed, they're healthy, nothing else matters. So yeah.
Right. Do you feel you have a balance now in your life?
I mean, I wouldn't say I have achieved the complete balance, because sometimes I feel I'm very overworked and I should go to bed sooner so that I have less dark circles. But
You
I
look
think
amazing.
no, but I'm trying to like prioritize and select three more top important things that I want to like maybe pursue or achieve in the next quarter, and I'm trying to like make my decisions based on that. So like I was saying, I'm trying to cut down on some of my speaking engagements, because sometimes that needs a lot of traveling as well, and now like focusing more on authorship and like actual technical paper publishing processes, which is also a lot of time consuming, and
Right.
takes a lot of toll on like thinking and your like brain cells. So like I'm trying to like decide what is good for my next step, and prioritizing according to that.
That's wonderful. So you have 3 priorities for each quarter and you follow your priority and design your life around it.
Right. And the life and family is most important. So if they need me, I can drop the priority. But I'm saying at least I have like a set parameters of what I want to achieve, and I try to like work towards it. So how much ever I can achieve is good. If it's not still there, yeah, I'll try to like see if I can do something else later, or like maybe it's not a thing that I can have right now, and then I just let it go.
Yeah, I'm just like super curious because with your speaking engagement, you need to prepare for the material, right?
Yeah.
And then writing paper too, so much energy and time into it. And then you have a very demanding full-time job.
Yes.
And how are you, maybe as a productivity question, how are you maximizing your productivity while not burning out? I hope you're not burning out.
Yeah. I am burning out a little bit, but I think it's a healthy level of burnout. It's
Really? Okay.
like I'm not fatigued. But I think one thing that really helped is that this hybrid work mode. Before, I feel that I was traveling almost 2 hours, 3 hours daily to get to 5 days of work, and I was like so exhausted. By the time I would come back, there was no time to like spend on personal reading or like doing something like maybe go to the gym. Even that I sometimes question, like even if I have time, I'm like I'll just go and sleep rather than go to the gym. But I think with the hybrid structure now, it kind of helps block that time out, so I can use like 7 to 9 like on focused writing or focused reading about something, versus like traveling to work, which I do 2 days a week. But then the other 3 days, I have the liberty to kind of focus on some more reading, writing, and like other educational things that I want to pursue. So that kind of definitely helped.
Yeah, and what is your childcare situation, if you don't mind sharing now?
Sorry, what?
Like the childcare situation, like
okay,
like 7 to 9, who is taking care of the baby?
Yeah, no, she's actually there. She's at home. So my husband and I, like we go to work alternate days. So my child goes to daycare from 9 to 4. So when I start work, and the daycare is like just in our building. So that's like such a peace of mind. So I can just anytime go down and check on her or like bring her if I finish early. So she goes to daycare from 9 to 4. And the days I go to work, she goes from 8:30 to like 4:30. Because that's a travel time, and if my husband comes back home before me, he goes and picks her up. So it's like a balance we are trying to maintain. And then another good thing is that every day morning when we wake up, I make all her food, like all the different types of 3 types of snacks, lunch that we have to give to the school to feed her. And I feel her routine has been so set. She eats so nicely when she goes to daycare. She sleeps in like all the good times in the blocks. And when she's at home, all she wants to do is like, walk around and like, joke around and not sleep at all. So I feel the 9 to 4
they need structure.
They need structure. They need very specific routine. And I feel the 9 to 4 daycare time has been really beneficial for her. She's eating all her good stuff.
That's
She's
awesome.
sleeping. Yeah. And I also get my work done.
Do you ever have like mommy guilty?
I think initially when she started going, I used to like be very sad every day, and I'll open up the video and check what she's doing. But now I see like the teachers are like really amazing. They do so many activities, like different kinds of sensory feelings, like water and like touching on jelly balls, just to explore some of these things. I don't think I would be doing so many activities in a day if she was at home. So I feel good that she's getting that exposure, getting that learn. And then they keep sharing photos and videos, and I see that she's so happy playing with other kids, and bonding and smiling at each other. So I feel that is also very needed to kind of bring up a very socially happy kid. So I think
that's wonderful.
I'm like trying to balance my guilt into saying that she is actually happy. If she was like not happy, I wouldn't have maybe sent her a little, pulled her back. But I see that she's happy, she's doing good, she's thriving, so I'm okay.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, because the past 2 to 3 years for me is to learn I'm good enough.
Absolutely.
The current situation is good enough for my family.
Yeah.
Like dealing with
that's the boundary.
duty.
Yeah. That's the boundary, right? Because there's so many people in your life who would come and say, hey, you should do this, do that, do this. You can do everything, but how much should you actually do? What is needed? That's enough. That is enough. Yeah, you don't have to like make 5-course meal every day. Simple 1-course meal is good enough. Like if it's feeding you, good nutrients.
Exactly. So the past year, I'm learning to ask this question format. What does good enough look for me? Or what does having a balanced and happy life for me? Absolutely. So that I can just filter out other people's voices, all the expectations.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just filter them out, because what is your expectation? Your family and your kids' expectation is all that matters. If they are happy, you will be happy, and then you will be able to focus your energy on all your ambitions. I have a lot of ambitions. I have to write down whatever. my husband sometimes jokes that you already feel that you are the CEO. I was like, of course, if I feel I am the CEO, only then I'll become the CEO.
Oh yeah, and then I'm curious. How do you and your husband balance? Because I'm sure he has his own ambitions and things want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and now, like your family, some person need to trade off.
Yeah. I think at least so far, so our kid is still small. Like she doesn't go to different classes, or there's like no pickup drop stuff. But so far we have balanced our calendars well. So if I have an event, I have to go to I went to an event yesterday, and so he had to take care of her. He came home early. He picked her up, fed her, bathed her, and then got her to sleep. So you have to kind of balance that. And then if he has some event that he has to go to, I make sure that I don't book anything or keep our.
You do the same for him.
So the communication is the key, right? So as early as possible, if you communicate that, hey, this is an important event I have to go to, I need you to step up and do all these things, I think it gets very easier for the other person to take on the challenge as well. So
wow. And kudos to your husband, to our husbands, to support their wives and their family. Absolutely. And should be normalized, right?
Absolutely, it should be normalized. Just like it's normalized that a mom should take care of the baby, it has to be as normalized as that. So it shouldn't be, because I've heard some folks or dads saying that, oh, I was just babysitting today, and it's like, no, it's your baby, you are not babysitting, it's your baby. So
it's funny, this week my daughter doesn't have summer camp and my husband is taking care of her right now. And this week is daddy-daughter camp. So I've been working late last night. But inside of me, I still have this guilty voice. Like, my husband sacrificed so much for our family. But now I have to, this is your duty. You enjoy it. And
you enjoy it.
You're on vacation now.
Exactly.
Taking her to Legoland or going to American Dream. That's perfect, right?
Yeah. That's the perfect day. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and like our listeners, most of them are working moms, or some of them are maybe full-time working mom. I consider staying at home mom is also working mom, because that's 24/7 job, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, what do you want to say to them at this stage of life?
I mean, whichever route you go, I feel like you said, it's a lot of work. Like, if you choose to be a stay-at-home mom, and I can tell you, during the maternity phase, I was off from work. I was taking care of the baby for quite a few months, and it felt like I was working constantly. I didn't even sit. Everybody says, oh, it's maternity leave, so you must be vacationing and drinking margaritas. No, I was not drinking margaritas. I barely had time to make food for myself and drink enough water. I had to put alarm that drink water every half an hour. It was such a crazy schedule with a newborn, and I didn't have much help from my parents. My parents couldn't travel from India, so it was just me and my husband. And then my husband had to go back to work, of course, because paternity leaves are not that great, right? So it is a lot of work, doing that full time 24/7. It takes a lot of toll on your mental health, your emotional health, and of course physically. So I feel I have never taken my mental health into consideration before I became a mom. I was like, oh, it's nothing, I'm sad, I'll be okay, I just get back to work. Now I feel that that's not a good strategy, because if I'm not happy, I am not satisfied, I am not giving 100% to my kid when she needs me. So I would definitely encourage everybody to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, take a break, go to the spa, spend the entire day, or read a book, whatever helps you get out of that, or get that rejuvenation feeling mentally. I think it's very, very important. For me, it's just just sitting on my couch doing nothing, watching the view, and then listening to some music, undisturbed for 30 minutes.
Wait, you are a foodie, right? You have an Instagram account called
Plant-based. It's called Plant-Based Coder. So I was just saying that, when I don't code, I cook, which is actually true, and that's also part of therapy. I feel helps me get over all my bad days, because I really love eating. That's why I love cooking as well, because it helps me balance that. And I have a lot of friends in around here who loves to cook and eat, so I make big batches and then I go and give it to them, and they're like, you're just testing your skills on us. I was like, yeah, that's so what cool. Friends are for.
Yeah, I will post your Instagram account in the show notes if you don't mind. I want people to follow you.
Absolutely. It's all vegetarian though. It's all vegetarian food,
right? But your food looks so delicious and so colorful. I love all the presentation.
Yeah, if it looks good, half the battle is won, right? Because half the beautification of food, I feel, is from the looks of how the food looks.
Yeah, so this year I also learned everybody need a community, and the moms especially. So build your own circle of support system. Even our parents cannot be here, or we don't have relatives near us to help, but build your community and have self-care routines.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very important. Like to at least have somebody to talk to. Like not that's not your husband because sometimes they don't understand. So you
Yeah.
go, so you got to go talk to your girlfriend, like talk to your like tribe that you actually lean on. So that's very, very. That has been very, very useful for me.
Yeah, so I think I still have a few questions for you. I would love to expand on what we have talked about, and I want to understand like what success means to you.
It's a big question, right? But I think success is very personal. I'll tell you one thing that when I was growing up, my mom told me that her grandmother told her, and you have to imagine it's like a long, long time ago back in India, where like female were still not working, and they were just trying to get good education. So her grandmother told my mom that you whatever you do in life, never give up your financial independence for anything. So you can see where it comes from, because maybe all throughout her life she felt that she was dependent on somebody. Like if she had to buy something, she had to ask the money from her father, brother, or eventually husband, and she was not financially independent to take a lot of decisions. So that is something my mom used to tell me, like from when I was a kid, that whatever you do, you have to like do something where you are financially independent, and you never let that go for anything in life. So
Wow.
I feel success for me has been like personally abiding to that, so that I can take care of my parents, I can take care of my family, not depend on anybody else. And also, like I said, I have a lot of ambitions in terms of what I want to do, and if I go to that stage, how will I be able to help other people? So I think that's also some level of community uh, things that I can do for the community is also like a part of my ambition plan. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
trying
your
to say? So
impact on this
yeah,
world.
the impact that I want to create would only happen if I rise to a certain level, right? Like then only my voice will be heard more seriously, I feel. So that is the work, or that is what success means. That when your voice is heard with like a good amount of respect and is taken seriously, you have a seat on the table, and you can like drive some change and
Right.
create
It's all about
impact.
representation.
Exactly, and you create some change. That would be ideal scenario.
Well, wonderful. So just to maybe to close our conversation today, it has been so wonderful talking to you.
Thank you for having me, Bonnie.
Yeah, and maybe just a closing remarks. Um, our working moms can be so busy, but also multifaceted. And our life can be alive, not just one thing, one narrow thing, right?
Yeah.
And with that in mind, like what do you want to say to our listeners?
Yeah, so you have to like choose what you want to be. So multifaceted, and in any direction. Like if you want to be like say stay at home mom, but you also want to like explore your writing capabilities, nothing's stopping you. Like just don't think that your kid will miss you, or you're not taking care of the kid. They won't even remember, like a couple years from now, that like if they were like lying or sitting in the sofa versus on your lap. So we moms need to take a chill pill. I know it's very hard, like our brains are not wired like that. I'm constantly, even if I'm working, I'm constantly thinking, what is she doing there, what is she doing there? I'm opening the app 500 times and refreshing to see
Same.
yeah, new information has come. But that should not distract you from, if there's some passion that you want to explore, or like build a side hustle, or like anything of an interest that is of you. I feel like just do it. Like
Just do it.
just do it. Just now is the time, right? Look at you started this beautiful podcast. Like who knew we need a mom focused podcast,
Thank
right?
you. I do
Amazing.
have saboteurs, like the inner critics. I have to face them. And I think that it's a journey.
Yeah, it is definitely a journey.
I have not many people like you who are so bold and use your voice so unapologetically. That's why it's so inspiring to see you grow and become a leader in the years after we graduate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've had my fair share of self-critiquing phase, where I felt that, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not even like doing this thing correctly. But doesn't mean that you are not doing it like in a are not if you're not achieving the final perfection, doesn't mean you are not working towards it. So I feel that let's not strive for perfection. Let's strive for impact. Even if it impacts a single person, the thing that you're doing has a lot of value. So continue doing it, and continue doing it.
That is so amazing. Thank you so much, Jayeeta, and good luck to your upcoming trip to Europe, and we'll catch up soon.
Yep, thank you very much. Happy safe travels to you. We have a lot planned for the next couple of quarters.